Bachelor's Way, making secondhand chic. Okay, welcome back. Last time when we finished off, we had done this middle section of the built-ins where the TV's going to be. And so now we're just going to move on out to the next section, which would be the two window seats on either side. Okay, for the window seats, we actually got these two pieces free. Somebody just had them outside their house. They said, take them, get rid of them, we don't want them. They're actually very, very heavy. They're mostly made of MDFs and laminate, but they have two drawer bases and we're really excited to use them to store our movies. So the first step was to cut off the back section. It had like this little tail sticking off, I guess you could call it. And we needed to cut that off so we could mount it up flush against the wall. To do that, we just figured out where our line was going to be. We clamped a straight edge onto the edge of it, lining up, where our saw blade would be, and then we just cut it off. Okay, once that was cut off, we were able to install it using long screws. We just put them through the studs and right through the back of it. Yeah, that's the last way to pretty much get upside down to get inside there. But then they were installed and we were ready to move on to the next section. Okay, next up is what I lovingly refer to as the Beast. This piece was killer. It was so well made. It was so hard to take apart and so hard to do what we wanted to. But we started off by cutting the crown molding off, or trying to. Okay, so now this is real DIY or trial and error. Okay, this piece we're going to cut. We wanted to get this crown molding off, if you can see that. We tried banging on it, tried taking screws out, nothing's working. We opened up the top and it's like a series of pieces of wood glued together and it's just glue, but this stuff is like sticking like iron. So you can see right here, there's three pieces and then there's this thin thing. So we're just gonna cut it right here. Cut it all off. And then we'll have something to do the new crown molding to. Since nothing else had worked, our next step was, like I said, to use our circular saw. And we drew a line across the top and we're gonna use a circular saw and just cut it off. Sounds easy? Then no more crown molding. All right, here we go. That didn't actually work. I told you this thing is a beast. So we ended up taking a Sawzall and just cutting it off. We kind of butchered it a little bit, but I'll show you how we fix that later. Next, we had to cut off the back. So we had to cut the width down a little bit because we didn't want it to be that deep. So we cut it right along this side right here. We had already tried our luck with everything else, so this time we just drew a line and used the Sawzall again and cut her right down all three sides. We did it! Okay, right now you're probably thinking that I'm crazy, because right now I was thinking I was crazy. I was wondering if this was really going to be a usable piece when we were done with our hack job. But I kept going and I decided to tackle this top section here where we cut off the crown molding. Okay, so we had to make this top section smooth. You can see right here our hack job, where we cut some sections too low, some sections too high, and the solution? Well, I went and bought a belt sounder. This actually worked really well, except for the fact that the belt sounder I bought was defective and I had to take it back, but once I got one that worked, it worked like a dream. I am not finished with this beast yet. During this process, we changed our minds and we decided to add a section to the top instead of the bottom of the beast. That meant that the top needed to be flat, as it would be the new bottom shelf of our open top section. I started by clearing away all of the broken thin layer that we had been left on the top. Remember, we ripped a huge hole in it. Once it was cleaned off, I decided to add cross supports, and then I cut a new top out of 1/4-inch thick board and inserted it. Just a side note, these were all pieces I reused from the original piece of furniture. Just remember, never let anything go to waste. This beast actually has 2 jobs, storage and hiding this plumbing pipe. We either had to make 2x6 walls or have this pipe slightly protruding. We opted to do 2x4 walls and have the protruding pipe. Once we install the cabinet, it'll go right over the pipe, camouflaging it, and no one will ever be the wiser. Okay, I still had one more problem to solve. Okay, what do? On the sides of all your other built-ins are just flat and flush, but this one piece has these big insets. Well, you make it smooth. So first, I cut these spacer pieces to fit. I'm going to glue those in. Right there. And then cut this piece, a little cross section. It'll look like that when we're all done. Beautiful. Okay, to install this baby, we made a toe kick out of some 2x6s. Kind of raise it up a little bit. And then you can see here's the top where I sanded it. Turned out pretty darn smooth. I had to fill a few holes, but it turned out real smooth. I was really happy with it. Okay, and then here's the top, how I made it nice and smooth so that it can be the bottom of the shelf. And I still have to cut down the drawer that's going to go in here, and there you can kind of see the toe kick a little bit better. And then remember how I made the side so nice and pretty and smooth. Here it is again. I think it turned out pretty darn good. Okay, well that's it for today. Next time we'll talk about this cabinet's twin that's on the other end of the room. If you like what we're doing, then go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you follow along.